The accumulation of ore is one of the main things that decides how quickly you can progress in Palworld. Refined ore turns into ingots, which are used to make this, build that, assemble this, well, you get the idea. The game asks for a massive, no, gargantuan amount of ore. There's the do-it-yourself rush ore tactic, the Mammoris stomp move, the Digtoise spin drill, or, I guess, a pickaxe. But I'm going to show you how to build a fully automated base that will farm ore entirely on its own, while you chill out and do absolutely nothing. Step 1. You're going to need a PAL box and a wooden chest to start a base, or ideally a secondary base if you've upgraded your PAL box enough. If you head northwest from where you initially start, there's 4 easy to get to spots that have big ol' spawns of ore. This is spot 1, here is spot 2, spot 3, and spot 4. I went with spot 4 for my setup. Now you're going to put down a PAL box and get as many of those ore nodes in its radius as possible, and then put one of the chests as close as you can get it right next to the PAL box. That part is going to be very important later. Step 2. Put down as many beds as you'll need, and then a feed box stocked with some food to keep your soon-to-be ore farmers nice and plump. Alright, step 3. You'll need mining pals that automatically harvest ore, like Digtoise, Dumud, or Tombat. I'll show you where to find those in a moment. Those mining creatures will now automatically break down all the ore nodes here at this base, over and over and over and over and over. Make sure you put in one pal with that transportation skill because they help to move the ore from where it's dropped to in the chest by the PAL box. The ore nodes will respawn after roughly a full in-game day, and with this setup, we'll now endlessly farm ore and stock it in that chest, if you keep everybody here fed. Now, if you have another base as your main base, go over there and put a chest as close as you can get it behind the PAL box. Back at the other base, this chest will amass a huge pile of ore for you, but grabbing it will weigh you down so much you can't move. However, with our tactical placement of that box, we can turn and still fast travel with the PAL box, so use that to warp back to your main base. You're gonna spawn just out of range of that chest you put down, but just go into your inventory, drop the ore, move forward a bit, pick it back up, and then put it in that chest. Now you've just moved all that ore into the main stock of your main base. Throw that in a furnace and a fire-based pal can start refining those into usable ingots. By the way, you can also just put 5 of these cats into your party, which stack a bonus that gives you a higher weight capacity. At level 31, that takes my total weight up to 960. Step 3.5. How to get Digtoise, Dumud, or Tombat. If you head up to this highlighted spot, you'll find yourself a Digtoise to capture, and also you'll find a Dumud here as well. A Digtoise seems to be a little bit better at mining, but requires more daily food. If you want a Tombat, you can only find them at night around these highlighted areas. These will mine ore even during the night if they have enough sanity. Step 4. You'll need a berry plantation and a hot spring. If you don't want to manually stock this base with food, you can make it self-sustaining by adding 2 or 3 berry plantations. You're gonna need to put in a pal that can plant and one that can water to actually make these work. If you're using a Dumud in this base, those can water these patches. Then put down a hot spring or maybe 2. That'll let the pals rest from time to time and hopefully not get grumpy. Step 5 is optional, requiring a Statue of Power and some PAL souls. Using a Statue of Power on those mining creatures will let you enhance their overall work speed by feeding them PAL souls. This is an easy way to improve the speed in which they harvest ore. I also messed around with the monitoring stand to increase their work speed, but that really amplifies the chance of the pals getting sick or injured. Now, I did a little bit of a science experiment with my setup here to see just how many ores are farmed across 2 full in-game days. I'm going to time-lapse the whole process, so skip forward to the next section if you want to know the results. Or you can hang out and see how exactly the PAL AI and ore spawning are actually working behind the scenes. Alright, let's take a look at what we have here. In 2 days, they put 389 ore in that chest, but let me go pick up those ones they left on the ground. There, 433 ores harvested across 2 in-game days, and I didn't even swing a single pickaxe. So in conclusion, that's pretty much the basics of an automated ore farm, but if you have any direct Palworld questions for me, hit me up over on X at BoomstickAlex or down in the comments, which I will be checking. Also, if you haven't seen it yet, check out my Ultimate Starter Guide for Palworld. It has some other useful information you might want to know. As always, I'm Alex, and thanks for checking this out today.